Welcome, worship stream, to another worship band class. Today, as you can see, things are a bit different. We're in a different environment. We thought we'd mix it up a bit for you guys. Before we get to this lesson, let's roll the intro video. There is no intro video. We're just joking about that. But we do have something really special with you. I don't know if you can see next to me here, this person here. We have Joe with us. And some of you already know Joe. All of you should know Joe by now.
Should.
Joe is the sound engineer at our church. He's also a massive part of the media team. Everything that happens sound-wise at church, this is the man who does it. He's also an accomplished bass player and a MD. Talking about MD, today's class is all about the role of the music director. Now, when I say music director, we're not talking about that guy who stands in front of the orchestra with a little thin stick in his hand directing everyone. Of course, he is also a music director.
Basically.
For us, it just looks a bit different. For us, it looks like usually the bass player or the keyboardist has a mic, talks into a mic because the whole band can hear what he's saying, because we all run through in-ears. So we run a click through our in-ears, and then
The MD.
The MD can talk directly to us, which is very handy, very helpful. It's probably saved us a lot of crash and burns.
And also caused maybe a couple of crash and burns.
Also maybe caused. But it does work well.
Yeah.
It does work well. So we're going to talk a little bit about those dynamics. Joe's going to share from an MD's point of view, and I'll be sharing from a worship leader's point of view. Basically, there are three things that we're going to cover as we look at the role of the MD. The first one is, what is the role of the MD when it comes to running rehearsals? Practical reasons and all that stuff. Number two, what is the role of the MD when it comes to, I forgot what the second one is.
Dynamics?
What is the role of the MD when it comes to dynamically cue the band? Remember last week or the week before that, we spoke about like when we
build or come
exactly
down dynamically volume-wise.
The sine wave movement is what we're aiming for, right, in a song. Number three,
transitions,
right? And with the dynamic cueing is also sometimes the MD cues progressions, which we'll get into now, because we're going to be watching through some examples, and Joe is going to explain to you guys why he did what he did, and how the rest of the band understands that when he cues them. All right, so Joe, talk to us a little bit about rehearsals and just the MD's role in running the rehearsals before we get to those examples.
So the MD is, I think we first have to look at the role of each. So the worship leader is responsible for where we're going. So it's like that's the destination. We want, like, the MDs, the worship leader will say we're going to PE. The MD's role is to tell the band how are we going to get to MD. How are we going to get to PE, not MD, PE. Because the worship leader might say, hey, we're going to start a new song, or like, cool, we're going to go to the next song. But if the band, they don't know exactly when to come in, how to come in, what time to come in, what the dynamic of the start of the song is going to be, then it's going to sound very sloppy or messy, and like it'll take a couple bars for the band to kind of figure out where they are or how to get there. So if you want, especially with transitions and stuff like that, the role of the MD is to make sure that the band knows exactly how to get to the destination. So I think with the rehearsal dynamic, that's where it's a lot. The rehearsal is a lot more in the hands of the MD per se, rather than the worship leader, because the role of rehearsal is for the band to be gelled, for the band to play together on the same page, and that means we need to know keys, we need to know dynamic builds, we need to know this section, are we going to be, is it an up section, is it a down section, is it a down intro, is it a big intro, do we repeat that section? So the from a rehearsal point of view, that's what we figure out during a rehearsal. We figure out the structure of the songs, and we figure out structure of how we transition between stuff, and that'll kind of differ from week to week. So from an MD perspective, we kind of take charge a little bit in rehearsal, saying, okay, cool, let's start from the top. let's start song one. Okay, cool. Armand, you're my worship leader for this week. Okay, I see that Lion and the Lamb is the first song. It's loaded in A. We're gonna do it in A.
Yeah.
Or do you want to change the key?
I don't know.
Okay, well let's try. Let's try it in A and C.
Yeah.
And then okay, cool. How did that feel? Did that work for you? Did that not work for you? Okay, we're gonna bring it down to A flat, or we're gonna take it up to B.
Sure.
So that's the kind of calls that the MD will make. Like, listen, how did that feel? Are you feeling good? Okay, cool. Let's do it in A. Cool. Are we gonna stick to the original? The original arrangement, or do you want to change it up? Did you have any other ideas? Okay, you want to kind of do it this way, then I will facilitate that. I'll help the band facilitate a different intro, or you want to do a halftime, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the MD's role is to facilitate musically what the worship leader has in mind.
And I guess also to bring clarity in communication.
Yeah.
Because in our case, the MD also runs the click track.
Yeah.
Right. So most of the stop starts, transitions, like technically what happens in the set is from the leadership of the music director, which just makes sense in our setting to have the MD
do
lead
that as well,
the rehearsal. It just makes things a lot easier. There's a lot less people talking over each other, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I think also the MD's role is to listen to the band, and also vice versa. But like, when I'm MDing, I'm listening to the band the whole time, and I'm listening to what people are playing. So, because we don't have rigid rules like the MD runs rehearsal. I mean that's kind of just a just a statement. But if I'm listening to the band and I'm MDing and I hear the keys playing the wrong progression, or missing something, or missing a line, or the electric missing something, or the drums going off click, I'll stop the rehearsal. I'll stop a song, I'll stop the click, say, guys, let's stop there. Okay, what happened there? Are you sure about the progression? Are you comfortable? Do you know what to play there?
Yes.
Okay, you missed that. All good. It's not we just want clarity.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. You know what to do? Okay, let's take it from 4 bars back. Let's pick it up on the start of the chorus. Chorus 2, 3, band in, boom, and we'll take it from there. So I think the role of the MD, especially in the rehearsal setting, is just to bring clarity, like you said, bring clarity and make sure that everybody knows what to do, when and where.
All right, just one more question that I have, because you mentioned that sometimes the MD would stop a song if he hears someone play something wrong, which means if you hear someone playing something wrong, it means you know what they're supposed to be playing.
Correct.
So obviously when the MD is leading the rehearsal and he's leading the band, he should have a really good idea of what each instrument should be playing. My question is, how much is it the MD's responsibility to know what everyone is supposed to play, and how much is it still the musician's own responsibility to know his part? So, like, how do you distinguish what that line is for the MD carrying the pressure of, I need to know everyone's parts so that they don't mess up, where maybe sometimes it can create a culture where people get lazy because they know the MD's going to rock up prepared and he's just going to tell them what to do. So how do you...
That's a good question. I don't think that's ever on the MD. It can never be on the MD to call out someone for missing their parts.
Yeah.
I think the MD's there as kind of a safety net.
Yeah.
And that's the role of the MD, is to go, hey, do you know the line that you were supposed to be playing? Yeah, you know the line. Okay, you don't know the line, but let's have a quick listen. But you should actually know that line because you've had a couple days.
Remember when you practiced that line?
Exactly. I think a big thing, I think that's just a cultural thing within our worship team, is a rehearsal isn't there to learn a song.
Yeah.
You come to rehearsal prepared. You know your songs. So you know exactly what lines you're playing. You know the tone that you're going to be using. You know the transitions. You know the keys. You know how to play that song, your parts, very, very well. So when you come prepared. If we're missing something from a band perspective, I'm going to be on it because that's my role. But my role as an MD is not there to say, hey man, you're not playing the line. And if you tell me what line, I'm going to be like, well, did you go through your songs?
Should have prepared.
You should have prepared because clearly you don't know the songs. But I mean, that hardly ever happens. And
Never happens.
Never ever happens.
Never happens in our church.
No.
So a lot of what we say here is
Applicable to other churches.
to other churches, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, just so you guys know, like Joe said earlier, none of this is a rule. Most of this stuff is just how we do it and
Yeah.
how it works for us.
Yeah.
It might look different
Yeah.
from church to church
Yeah.
or from band to band.
But I mean, also, like, if you're doing a new song, for example, I think that's a really good example. When we do a new song, and especially if it's like a tricky song, you can come prepared and you'll play it completely different to the way I'm playing it.
Yeah.
And your understanding of the song might be completely different to my understanding of the song. So that's, again, where the MD comes in and say, guys, okay, cool. We're playing the song. It's sounding very different to the original. Why? Okay, cool. Oh, you listen to the acoustic version, maybe. Oh, that's fine. Or even you listen to the right version, but you just heard it differently.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, cool. Let's quickly figure this out. Let's take some
Yes.
time. Let's work on the parts
Collaborate.
together. Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes the worship leader will kind of just not sing for a while, and the band will just work on a quick section just to make sure that we've got the section down and take it from there. But those calls kind of come down to the MD saying,
Yeah.
okay, that doesn't sound right. And again, that comes back to preparation. The MD needs to know the songs. I
Yeah.
need to know exactly how the song goes. Like, I need to understand, not even understand the song. I just need to like have listened to it more than once, so that I know, oh, there's an electric line there. Like, why am I not hearing that electric line? Did you listen to the part? Cool. Okay, there's a bit of a drum fill there. Like, okay,
Yeah.
oh, you did get it. Cool, no worries. I just didn't hear you play it, but you did play it. Great. Stuff like that. So it's just kind of
Yeah.
maybe even accountability.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
making
very
sure
good.
that everybody's on the same page.
Yeah. So just to recap, so the MD runs the rehearsal, just to make sure that there's clarity, that there's that accountability towards one another, that we all know our parts, and that when we rock up on a Sunday, everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
We've run through it together. The MD has communicated with the band
Yeah.
what needs to happen in what sections. And I think also because the MD ran the rehearsal on Thursday night, there's that familiarity when we get there on a Sunday morning. They're familiar with the person who's speaking in their ears. It just helps them.
Trusting as well.
It's a trusting as well.
But I think also having an MD and having that's not even strict structure, but as an MD, I'm going to have a really clear picture of what the worship set is going to look like. I know exactly, okay, we're going to repeat that section, we're going to do that again, we're going to do that again. In my brain, I have a full picture of what the worship set's going to look like from start
Yeah.
to finish. But we don't ever do it like that.
Yeah.
Because that structure allows us to be confidently play, and then because we know the song very well, and because we've got a really set structure, when the Holy Spirit prompts us to deviate from that plan, we can do that with confidence because we know we always have a plan to come back to, which is
Very
good.
good. Very good.
And like so, from an MD perspective, I'm never going to force us to stick to the structure.
Yeah.
I'll guide us on the structure, but the second the worship leader says we're doing something different, that's where we're going.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that covers pretty much the role of the MD during rehearsals. Now let's dive into what does it look like when the MD is actually cueing the band on a Sunday. You know, what does a dynamic cue look like? What does it mean when the MD is going to cue a progression or call out stuff like 1, 6, 4, and it sounds like he's talking mathematics to us.
Maybe like spazzing a little bit.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, you could be confused if you don't know what the heck is going on there. So why don't you take us through, this is a worship set that we did a couple of weeks ago, the song Forever.
Yep.
And there's a couple of things that we highlighted in here that Joe's just going to run us through. So the first thing is, I think, this is just how we start all our songs.
Yeah. So, first thing is, this is how we start every single song. The MD will always cue a transition and count the band in because, like I mentioned earlier, like if the band, they don't know when to start, like they know they have to start, if they don't know exactly when to start. One guy's going to start a bit early, one guy's going to start a bit late. We always want to transition or the start of a song to be nice and confident because that's the launch pad for the song. So, clicks going.
1, 2, 3,
It's a full count.
4.
I mean, that's pretty straightforward. I just did intro, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we know the song starts with a piano intro. So Marno was playing keys. He knows exactly. If I go intro, 1, 2, 3, 4, he starts on the 1 after that. So it's pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. And that way, everybody knows when we're starting. It's pretty straightforward.
Very cool.
Next thing is, I think, a bit of a dynamic cue.
Pick it up, let's pick it up.
Saying pick it up, meaning pick it up. Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if I say pick it up, the band picks it up.
Yeah, so dynamically the intensity builds. The drummer is going to build on the toms. The electric
Yeah.
guitar is going to play some big power chords, and everyone's going to do it together.
Yeah, so basically, if we're like at dynamically or intensity wise at like a 40 from a 40%, like going from a verse, if I say pick it up, we're going to really like ramp it up. It's generally a build into a big section. So I'll only ever
We'll
really say
jump to like 80% and then,
100 for the chorus.
yeah.
Yeah, basically.
But you can't hear the acoustic.
I'm singing with.
Verse 3, nice.
Didn't know where we were. Happens from time to time.
Pick it up, let's go.
Pick it up again.
Big chorus.
Big chorus means
Big chorus.
big chorus. I mean, I think you guys can pick up on these really intellectual cues I'm giving. It's really difficult to
Hard to decode.
big chorus.
I don't really know what it means. Big chorus.
Pick it up.
Big
Bring it.
chorus, is that like Bravo 16?
Yeah.
Repeat the chorus.
Repeat the chorus. Ooh,
Maybe
that was
talk to us about that. What happened there? Why did you say repeat the chorus?
Okay, so let's maybe slow this down, take it back. Okay, so we're playing the chorus, and in rehearsal we only did one repeat of the chorus. We just did the chorus once, the second chorus. But if you look at what Lauren's about to do, she does this behind her back, and she
And?
right.
And
There.
is behind?
That means like I know what she's doing there. Behind her back, she's doing this, which means repeat. So the only reason I'm gonna cue it verbally to the band is because we didn't rehearse a repeat in the chorus there. Because in the chorus we just did the rehearsal. We did one chorus for chorus 2, but she wants us to do it twice now. All good. She cued it. She showed me early enough. I can cue the band, and we're gonna confidently do that. Nobody's gonna know. Everybody's gonna think we rehearsed it that way.
Repeat the chorus.
Sing along.
1 over 3.
Talk to us.
That I feel like I should be in a suit, like with a marker and stuff. So basically, the progression for the chorus there is
1, 5, 6, 4.
1 5 6 4. So it's pretty straightforward. 1 5 6 4. But because we've been playing it, I think that's the verse progression and the chorus progression.
Wow, you can't shake
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
It
is.
So I mean, we've been playing that same progression, verses and choruses the whole time.
Yeah.
And that can get musically very repetitive. So from a MD perspective, I can make the call whenever I want to kind of shake things up a little bit when I feel like let's just shake it up.
Just for some variety.
Just variety, yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
sound better. So there, we've been doing we've been playing the progression 3 times. It's 12 bars. We've already been playing that progression, and for the last 4 bars, instead of going 1 5 6 4, I called 1 over 3 5 6 4. So I just in the last bar before that repeat, I said we were on the 4, and I said 1 over 3. So instead of playing, I think we're on E. So instead of just playing E, we're gonna play E over A flat or E over G sharp, which just causes a little bit of tension, but sounds right. So it's I mean, this is a pretty basic chord. 4 chord.
1 over 3.
We're gonna go to the 1 over 3. Tension. 5. 6.
Bring it down, bridge.
Okay,
over
so
3.
Lauren cued me to bring it down, and we're gonna go to the bridge. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. We're gonna bring it down, and we're gonna go to the bridge.
Yeah.
Same progression.
And I guess, we could stay on this section as long as we want to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we
I wanna
didn't.
say that we didn't.
No, but I mean, we can because
And you could cue that.
Yeah.
So let's just repeat that.
yeah. I mean, oftentimes I'll say, let's just sit on this section for a while, and we'll dynamically stay in the same place.
Yeah.
Because naturally with a bridge you'll build. But yeah.
The Lamb is overcome. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. The Lamb is
Pick it up.
overcome. We sing
Okay, just to pick it up a bit again.
Okay, so see here, very interesting. Armand looks back. I think he does it again here.
Look back.
Okay, that's Armand for we're gonna pick it up now.
We're gonna go now.
So again, maybe just a good thing to know, but as an MD, you get to know your worship leaders very well. I know you hardly ever take your hand off your guitar. You'll kind of just cue me by
Body
turning.
language.
Body language. If
Yeah.
you turn and you look at me, I generally know we're gonna either pick it up, or if you like give me a certain look, I know we're gonna drop it down. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
we sing
I think you guys will remember a couple of weeks ago we did that class where we spoke about hand signals and just different ways for worship leaders to cue or communicate. And I mean, if it was a brand new band, this hand signals would probably be the easiest.
Definitely.
Because it's universal, everyone understands them. But because in this band we all know each other that well, we have that confidence just to look at each other or
Yeah.
even in our body language.
Yeah.
Um,
I just know where Armand wants to go. So here, he's turning around a second time, which means we're not building fast enough. So you can see, like, he said he turned around.
Lamb is overcome.
He wants us to build. And we're not building yet. So he's going to turn again. I know. We're going to start building.
We're gonna repeat it. Pick it up. Let's pick it up.
And then I cue it. I think this next transition's also pretty good.
yeah. It's
Repeat
actually
it.
a
1 over
break
3.
that we
Go
did.
big.
Oh, it's called the 1 over 3 again there with some other yelling.
Which
We're
means
gonna go to the chorus after this.
Chorus.
Big bold. This big bold.
Big bold.
Hold the 4.
Hold the 4. Hold the 4 chord.
Hold it. Big chorus. 1, 2, 3.
That was tight. So, just kind of breaking down that little section. There towards the end, we did something weird where we kind of stayed on the last chord. And so generally, you'd want to go to the first chord of the next bar. So we played the progression through 1, 5, 6, 4, and then you'd want to go back to the 1. So, but instead of going to the 1, because we added a couple bars. I think it was just 1 bar of 4
Yeah.
of the 4 chord,
We
and
all-
an additional bar of the 4 chord
Yeah.
for that suspense. It's
Yeah.
just the suspense thing. So holding that 4, hold 4, 1, 2, break,
3,
4, bam. Yeah.
Actually broke on the 4 there.
Do we break on the 4?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, we broke on the 4. Sometimes we break on the 3 as well, but then I'll cue it. But so there, from a congregation point of view, that was like a really smooth the 4 chord, like holding, suspense. The band breaking at the exact same time and coming in at the exact same time. But I mean, I just cued it, so
Yeah.
the band knows exactly. Like they can confidently do it because I'm counting them in. They know we're doing this, and it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, we kind of rehearsed it. I don't know, are we gonna do it or not gonna do it? It's
Yeah.
like chorus 2, 3,
3,
bah, dun, on the 1. So I mean, it's
Very
straightforward, but because I cued it, the band
Yeah.
can do it confidently.
We
I think is that it for the song.
I think there's just that one section in the bridge that we went off script again when we sang the. So it's just another example of, you know, the MD cueing something that
Yeah.
that wasn't in the original structure of the song. Vocalist getting a bit tired there.
3.
Call the
Three.
3 again. 1 over 3. Okay. Okay, we're
Bridge.
gonna go to the bridge.
Big.
Big bridge.
Big bridge, let's go.
If Armand loves his guitar, you know we're going big.
So we do a big bridge. Alright, yeah, I think that was it for
Yeah.
this song. And that covers pretty much most of what we're going to talk about. There's just one other example
Yeah.
in The Blessing, which is an example of calling numbers.
Ooh, shucks. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean that in the previous example we covered dynamic builds. We transitions between sections, transition between song, and maybe we covered 1 or 2 alternative chords. But there's one here again. So this is something we discussed beforehand.
Yeah.
Because the chorus progression and the bridge progression is exactly the same, and the majority of the song you are in the chorus and the bridge, so it can get very monotonous and repetitive. So I think 2 or 3 times the progression goes what 1 4 6 5.
1 4 6 5. What song is this?
The Blessing.
Blessing.
Yeah, I think it's 1
I
4
have
6
no
5.
idea.
Anyway, but the last chord is a 5 chord.
Yes.
And then we swap the 5 chord out for a minor 3.
Yeah.
But
In the morning, in the evening, in your coming, in your going, in your week.
Back to the 5.
oh, so we did it just before
Okay.
this.
So,
Oh, that's actually perfect. So we just dropped into the bridge now, from a big chorus down into the bridge. And we're starting to play the progression. Oh, so 6 4 1 5. Progression 6 4 1 5.
such a good song.
Pick it up.
Pick it up. 6 4 1.
Minor 3.
So instead of the 5 minor 3, just adds a little bit of musical interest.
Back to the 5.
Okay, so just the clarity for the band, we're not going to play the minor 3 again. We're going to go back to the original structure of the 5.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. And then maybe the Waymaker thing at the end.
Yeah. So then there was transitioning to a new song.
Okay, so here we brought it down. Same progression, 6 4 1 5. Yeah, we were at the end of the song. The song was basically done, but we were still there. So we just cued the band to keep playing the same progression over and over.
Still going.
Yeah, so this is actually a great example of like,
Just at the moment, yeah.
yeah,
Just playing over that same progression.
and not to like, because technically we're in uncharted territory,
Yeah.
but not to be freaked out by that, because
Exactly.
I wasn't, we didn't play it, but basically I just cued same progression, stick with the same progression.
Yeah. So even though now we're singing a different
Stick to
song,
the current
we're
progression.
not.
We'll go over later.
Yeah,
There we go. Just confirmed there. So we're not playing the progression of Waymaker. It's still the blessings progression,
Progression, yeah.
but it works over this musically.
because everybody's playing it together.
Yeah.
So
Repeat
6
again.
4 1 5, and then I cued. I said we're gonna go over to Waymaker chorus. Oh, Waymaker progression later.
Yeah.
And I'll cue it.
Oh, stop building.
Dynamic cue.
Dynamic cue.
Repeat.
Repeat.
One more time.
Eighth, starting eighth.
Chorus. 4156.
Change the progression.
He actually just called the whole progression there. 4165.
156.
56.
Yeah.
Seems too quick.
So instead of saying we're going to the chorus progression, I just said 4156.
Yeah.
It's just easier. So I think that's also a really good example of an MD will never have a whole conversation with you or say a whole sentence because,
Just not enough time.
well, not enough time, but also like I'm playing.
Yeah.
There I was playing driving eighths like on a pretty fast tempo. Like I'm focusing on playing right. I can't like
Stop
focus.
playing and then talk.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try say the least amount of stuff
Yeah.
to communicate the message. So
Definitely.
that's why I said, what did I say? Pick it up. Yeah, pick it up instead of okay, we're gonna pick it up now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say, pick it up,
Pick it up.
bring it down, drop it down. 4156.
Drop it down. Sounds like we're going to dance here.
So yeah, that's
Very good.
that's it.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up everything that we said that we're going to talk about. If you guys have any questions, you're welcome to ask me in the Zoom call, and then I'll ask our MD behind me here.
Sit
But
right there.
thanks, Joe, for stepping in and
Pleasure.
helping us with this class. Really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next class. Cheers.